Valorant players are some of the most unique specimens of all, and their controversies and beefs are no different. From pros getting caught cheating, to players being racist towards entire countries, to teams doing the most out-of-pocket tricks just to win, we've got it all, and we're going to explain them to you. Starting off this list with who people considered one of the greatest players to come out of Southeast Asia region. Tuum Nam Senpai Khan, a Vietnamese pro player, decided to spice things up during the VCT 2022 Stage 1 Vietnam Open qualifiers, but not in a good way, because he was caught cheating in an official VCT match. Now, you'd think if you're gonna cheat, you'd at least be subtle about it, but nah, he didn't think that way. So there he is, playing for ICE CJ2 when he pulls off some shots that made him look ridiculously suspicious. There's this one clip where Nam Senpai's playing on Haven, and he sees an enemy Jet in a garage. The Jet throws down a cloudburst to escape, and Nam Senpai tries to shoot her. But then, out of nowhere, his crosshair snaps to an Astra at C-Link. And the thing is, the Astra was still completely behind cover. Nam Senpai keeps shooting and tracing the Astra through the wall like he's got X-ray vision or something. Now, I don't know about you, but last time I checked, wall hacks weren't part of Valorant's agent abilities. So Riot Games wasn't about to let this slide. They came down hard, banning Nam Senpai from all official Riot Games competitions for 3 years. That's longer than most Valorant pros' entire careers. But before we get to the next scandal, make sure to subscribe if you're loving this video. What's even crazier is that the next player on this list wasn't even caught cheating recently, but his past was very dark. Juicy, the 16-year-old prodigy, was on fire. He helped Bleed Esports win the Ascension tournament in 2023. He was destined for greatness in the VCT Pacific League. He was going to be rubbing shoulders with the likes of Paper Rex and DRX. Things were looking up for the boy Juicy. But turns out, Juicy had a little secret. Back in the day, Juicy was part of a team called TMG. They qualified for the Southeast Asia Masters, taking down Team SMG in the grand finals of Challengers 3. But Riot's anti-cheat system caught wind that someone on TMG was cheating. And wouldn't you know it, that someone was Juicy. Riot then decided to yeet TMG's spot in Master 1. His account was banned. His dreams of Master's glory were gone. Then he tried to give himself a complete makeover by joining Bleed Esports, helped them win Ascension, and was on his way to the big leagues. It was the redemption arc of the century. Juicy is currently active again and is playing for Disguised Toast's team. Now, let's rewind to the 2021 Valorant Champions. It's the group stage, and Brazilian team Vivo Keyd is facing off against the eventual champions, Ascend. The underdogs are putting up a fight, shocking everyone with a 2-1 victory. But little did they know, one of their players was about to become the star of a controversy. Zhao, Vivo Keyd's Cypher player. Now, Cypher's all about gathering intel, right? Well, Zhao decided to take that a bit too literally. For 6 whole rounds, this dude was using a Cypher cam exploit on Breeze. Zhao placed his camera in a spot that was impossible for the enemy team to see or destroy. It's like he found a way to turn Cypher's camera into a satellite or something. And we're not talking about some minor advantage here. Riot Games didn't take too kindly to this creative use of Cypher's abilities. The team had to forfeit all 6 rounds where they used the exploit, plus an extra round for economic impact. But wait, it gets better. This decision caused such an uproar in the Valorant community that Riot actually had to change their ruling. Upon further deliberation, matches in Group A will be delayed to provide additional time to review the ruling against Vivo Keyd. Yes, they bug abused. Yes, they should be punished, but that cam wasn't the reason why they won the series. No way we're just granting rounds based off how many rounds the cam was used. They ended up making Ascend and Vivo Keyd replay the map, but with Ascend starting with a 7-0 lead. In the end, Ascend won the replayed map and moved on in the tournament. As for Vivo Keyd, well, let's just say they learned the hard way that sometimes it's better to play by the rules than to get too creative with your camera placement. Moving on to our next controversy, we've got the case of the Furia killjoy Molly exploit. So it's February 2023 and we're at VCT lock-in. Furia is facing off against T1 and everything's going fine until Furia's killjoy player, Khalil Schmidt, pulls a David Blaine and makes his nanoswarm disappear. He decided to place it in what Riot calls a prohibited exploit area. In other words, somewhere it definitely shouldn't be. Riot wasn't about to let this slide. They slapped Furia with a penalty, giving T1 a free round. But get this, Furia didn't even need that molly. They went on to win the map 13-5 and take the series 2-0. But the next controversy is even more crazy. Now, you see, T1 is one of the biggest names in esports, and it was absolutely demolishing TSM in an elimination match. They're on the verge of closing out the series 2-0. Apparently, T1's head coach, David Dennis, decided to spice things up, and not in a good way. He casually typed "help sewer" in all chat during the match. Now, for those of you who don't speak Valorant, that's basically like a football coach running onto the field mid-play to tell his quarterback where to throw. Coaches here have a view of at least 5 cameras, so they have a significant advantage. That's why the rulebook prohibits any communication once the game is started. TSM's Subroza was the one who revealed this. He took to Twitter, and then a scandal erupted. "I'm playing versus a team that has their coach typing and probably talking to them mid-game, GG, 6 vs 5. Riot paused the game and then dropped the hammer. T1, despite being on the verge of victory, was disqualified on the spot. T1's CEO, Joe Marsh, came out swinging, saying the disqualification was completely fair. They also decided to give Dennis a little vacation, suspending him for the next round of qualifiers. But the next scandal was a bit unfair to the team, Noot Noot. This team was making some noise in the VCT Game Changers, a tournament designed to give opportunities to women and other marginalized genders in esports. But this doesn't exactly have a happy ending. In October 2023, Game Changer Series 3, Noot Noot was facing off against Complexity, and things were getting spicy. Map 1 goes to Noot Noot, Map 2 to Complexity. It all came down to Map 3. The tension was so thick you could cut it with a knife, or so we thought, because Map 3 never happened. Why? Because Malibu, someone on Noot Noot, decided to cheat. Again, Riot's anti-cheat system detected it. Noot Noot was disqualified, but this player Malibu wasn't just any player. This person came out of nowhere, joined the team 2 weeks before the tournament, and submitted a profile pic that was clearly generated by AI. And that's not the end of it. Malibu came out and she claimed she didn't cheat, that she was trans, and that the whole thing was a big misunderstanding. The rest of Noot Noot claims they had no idea, having only met Malibu these 2 weeks before the tournament. But the fallout was nuclear. Other teams who had lost to Noot Noot earlier in the tournament were calling for blood. Knew something was off when the 6th member of New Jeans was one-tapping everyone in the server. Alright, this next controversy is so dramatic that we had to split it into 2 parts. First, let's talk about the Sentinels tech pause. It happened on December 2nd, 2021, Sentinels vs Furia. The series was tied 1-1, and Sentinels just needed one more round to close it out. But Furia, living up to their name, were making a huge comeback. The rounds were really intense, and then, bam, tech pause. Now, tech pauses are really common here, but usually they're over quick. This one, well, we're talking 20 minutes of dead air. It was really boring to see. Now, here's where things get spicy. The pause happened because of a jump that Zan from Furia made onto a box on C-Site. It wasn't an exploit, just a skill jump, but Riot had to make absolutely sure it was legal. Meanwhile, the viewers at home are losing their minds. Some people saw 10Z and Shazam coming back to their desks and thought Sentinels had called the pause. People were accusing Sentinels of trying to ice Furia's momentum. The hate was flowing. We're talking about death threats, people, over a tech pause, in a video game. And there's more. Shazam even asked to use the bathroom during the pause. Apparently, this wasn't allowed in past tournaments, which only added fuel to the conspiracy fire. Poor Shazam had to explain himself on stream later.
I literally just went to take a piss. It's actually really fucked up. It really disappoints me.
But the next part is where things got racist. Shazam tried to defuse the situation on Twitter. These games should bring us together, have some fun. These games should bring us together and proceed to antagonize an entire region? It's a joke. We can't change the past. Furia got their momentum ruined by a dumb tech pause, and I got a lot of undeserved hate. Both suck, I agree. Your joke antagonizes an entire region, country, and fuels an already shitty situation. After all the drama with the tech pause, Zoms, Sentinel's controller, thought it'd be a great idea to bash the entire region of Brazil. Now, I don't know if you know this, but Brazilian esports fans are fierce, not exactly chill. It all started with a tweet. He posted, "Can't wait to beat your shit region again." The people from Brazil didn't take these comments well and came down hard on him, even going as far as giving him death threats. Even Tens had to explain, even though he had nothing to do with it. Also, for tech pause, Riot paused the game because they said that Furia did an exploit by jumping on top of the C box without updraft. Giving death threats is really bad, but does that really justify antagonizing an entire region? Let me know in the comments, as I cannot decide.